about that time again. The last time I did a video on how to clean out your Rinnai tankless water heater because of error code 10 was a couple of years ago. I've since had to go back into my water heater and clean out the fan for debris. Basically, the error code 10 means that you've got a buildup of excess heat inside the heating chamber, and that is typically because you have moths and leaves or all kinds of whatever that's gotten sucked into the intake on the outside of the house where the chimney intake is. And in my case, the last time I had moths in it, and it's happening again. My kids are home from college, and now that a couple of showers are being used at the same time, that heat kicks up and all of a sudden you start getting a cold shower. And so the fix is you can cut the water off and leave it off for about 30 seconds and reset it, and then turn the water back on and the hot water will return again. But it's a pain when you've got several people trying to take showers at the same time. And so I'm going to show you how to go back in as a follow-up video and clean out that fan and pull out any kind of debris. First, we'll just confirm that that is the case. So with that, let's get started. So the first thing that needs to happen is you need to pull the power cord on the hot water heater. That way nobody tries to run the water. I've already taken the liberty of removing the trim on both sides, and if you don't know, this trim just pushes off that way, and it just clips into those little side clips. There's 4 screws that hold this panel on. I've already removed those to speed up this effort. So basically what's got to happen is we've got to get into this fan motor right here, and we've got to remove the screws and pull the fan motor out, and that will reveal the inside of the squirrel cage in that fan, and most likely it's full of dust and debris or moths and who knows what else, maybe even leaves or stuff like that. We happen to have our dryer vent on the same wall as our exhaust for the Rinnai, and that exhaust, that single pipe, also has an intake in it that sucks air in when it's running. And so basically it will pull in stuff, and it could possibly have dryer vent residue in it as well. So let's get started on removing this piece of it. First thing is, if you remove the screw for this panel, be sure to set these screws somewhere where you won't lose them. You can pull that off. All right, and now if you look at all these connections here, so these wires right here, this is just a little wire to get everything up and out of the way. You can actually unplug these wires, the 3 with the red dots right here. That's the easiest way, just to get them out of the way. And there's also another little red hanger wire here that's just got everything wrapped up. So just for reference, the one with the red wire is on the far left, the one with the blue wire is in the middle, the one with the yellow wire is on the right. Might need to know that later when we're starting to reconnect everything. I'm also going to undo this plug, the one with the red and the yellow and the white and the black. Okay, got that out of the way. And I'll just try to pull all this stuff off to the side over here. Okay, so now, if you look on this, there's screws on the outer sides. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the ones you want to remove, not necessarily the ones on the that are closest to you here. So we'll start removing the top left, one that's about at the 11 o'clock position. And then we'll take the one that's at the 5:30 position. 6 o'clock position. There's one at the 4 o'clock position. And then one at the 1 o'clock position. And you'll see as soon as you get to that last screw, the fan motor becomes loose, and then it will pull out. Drop that screw. All right, and guess what? That right there is all it takes. See that big moth? See what else is in there? There's some lint, not very much, but really it really boils down to it's just one big moth, a second bug, a little leaf, and some smaller debris. So I'm going to take my air nozzle, my air hose, bring that over here and blow this out, and that will stop my error code 10 from happening. You wouldn't think that would do it, but it's enough to do it. So hang tight. And if you want to give it a blow where it'll spin the fan, the second thing I'll do is actually come inside this and blow inside of here. And you could use a vacuum cleaner too, I guess, but. And the last time I did this, I actually put this blower up inside here and just put it up to the intake there. And that'll blow anything that's in the exhaust pipe back outside. So when you're putting this fan motor back in, if you recall, the barcode sticker is on the bottom, just so you've got it going back in the same way that it came out. Be careful not to damage the fan blades. Then we're going to go ahead and start with the 11 o'clock position. Get that one back in there. Be careful not to cross thread your screws. You'll know if it's tight when that screw is going back in. That means it's cross threaded. All right. Next we'll do the 6 o'clock position. And then the one at the 4 o'clock position. And then last, you want to make sure, if you recall, there was a red ground wire right here. And just make sure that you reattach, put the screw through that connector, and put that back in the 1 o'clock position. Okay. All right, so now we're going to reconnect our connectors. So the red one on the left. Blue one on the middle. And the yellow one on the right. Okay, and then the connector that I undid, these connectors only reconnect one way. RL94 Some of these connectors may be diagnostics connectors. This one here, for example, that's an anti-freeze connector. Those are all not connected on mine. There's another one there, I can't read that one, but regardless, those are not hooked up. So now that we've got all those back in place, we just want to reconfigure these hooks, the little red wires that bunch everything back together. Right there, you just want to pull all those back up together where they're good and snug inside. Try to make sure I don't have any wires touching any of the pipes on the inside because it can get hot. All right, now we'll put the panel back into place. Okay. Another video I'm going to do at some point in time. This is the Rinnai wireless module. This is the device that connects it to Wi-Fi, and that is something that I added on to this unit. As you can see, it's a pretty simple setup. It's 2 wires. It's connected right over here on the bottom, and this will allow you to use the Rinnai app to set this device up, get it connected to your Wi-Fi. You got to register with the Rinnai monitoring service, and that will give you the ability to integrate the iOS and Android app, as well as a few home automation packages out there. I've actually got mine integrated in with Home Assistant, where I can monitor and set my hot water heater, and I can even do things like change the temperature through that interface, but I can automate it where if the hot water's been running for, let's say, longer than 30 minutes, I can have it cut off. So any of you who've got teenagers that take showers that seem to go unlimited, that's a way that you can go in there and eliminate that. All right, we'll go ahead and put the strips back on. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and power the unit back up. Let it run through its cycle here real quick. Put these strips back on. You guys may notice my light in the closet here keeps cutting off. That's because I have it also tied in on my home automation system that if the light gets left on, it'll cut off after 4 minutes. Just a way to save power. Drives my wife and family crazy though, because I have that on a lot of different things in my home. All right, so we're up and running. I'm going to turn on the water and let's see what it does. All right, looks like we're back in business.